Yo, what's good YouTube? It's your boy X. Now today in this video, we're back with another video. Now, in today's video, I'm going to be explaining to you guys my drug testimony and tell you guys where I've came from, you know what I mean, and where I'm at now, which I'm good. But let you guys, understand like my life stories and stuff like that and what God delivered me from. So listen, I want you guys to listen closely because this is a serious story. And I also want to say that in this video is only going to be explaining my drug testimony. I will be releasing my full testimony later on, like probably in the next video or stuff like that later on in my life. But just for this video, just to make it shorter, I will be releasing just the testimony or just talking about the drug testimony. So yeah, but I just want to also say just before this video begins and me explaining it, please understand that what you're about to see, it may be, yeah, too much graphic. So prepare. Anyways, it's been your boy X, and let's get straight into the video. So I began smoking, well, vaping when I was like 13 to 14. This was like when I was in 8th grade, I think. You know what I mean? Or 9th grade, something like that. And I remember the first time I vaped, right? The first time I vaped, I thought I was gone. I thought I was high, bro. I remember when I think the teacher caught us in the background. It was me and some other dudes. Me and some other students, bro, we were just gassing out the bathroom. We was gassing out the bathroom. So we was just like, bro, listen, the teacher coming. So the teacher's coming and we gotta, you know what I mean, type stuff. So I can't remember exactly how I got caught, but the teacher ended up just finding out that we were just all in the bathroom. And I don't think he caught me that we were vaping. But he definitely brought me to the reception because I was in trouble. And I remember when I was sitting down, right, I was just like, bro, I'm gassed out. Oh, vape, bro. Vape don't get you high at all, bro. But I remember the first time, I think it was the first time, was the second. I was just gone. I was just thinking I was gone, bro. So I was like, yeah, we gassed out. But that was one of the first times I started to vape. It was actually in 8th grade. And I remember it obviously progressed into me smoking cigarettes. This is when I got kicked out of school. So I was in like a school for bad kids, and I remember one of the kids. They were obviously, we were chilling out right near some dude's house, and he asked me obviously if I wanted a cigarette because they were smoking, and I was just like, me being a person I was following at the time, following the bad company. I was just like, you know what, man, let me see the cigarette. Let me see if I can smoke this real quick. So I went and smoked the cigarette, and it just began from there. I couldn't even smoke it the first time. I remember when I guessed, I swallowed it. I was like, and I started to cough, I think, bro. So it was just wild, bro. But I remember from then on, that's when I began to smoke cigarettes. I began to be addicted to the cigarettes, and I was just smoking cigarettes like that. And I think one of the first times as well that I drank alcohol is not in the same exact school, but in like the same type of school, because I was in another perm school, and then not my bad. I was in another bad school because the one that I was in, that I smoked my first cigarette in, I didn't, get to make it to a mainstream school. I was still sent to another bad school because of my behavior. So obviously from the, I remember the first time I drank alcohol and was drunk by it. Now me and this dude, right? I don't talk to him anymore, but me and this dude, we was going to school, And I was just like, I can't remember why we even decided to get this alcohol from the store. So we went and stole the alcohol, bro. We went and stole it. And I think we were smoking cigarettes too, but we went and stole the alcohol. And I was just downing it. And I think he took a couple of sips, but I took the most. I was gulping that, bro. I was just like, unk, unk, unk. And I was like taking videos on Snapchat. I think I was like with my alcohol in my hand, thinking I'm good, bro. I was thinking this is the stuff to do. I was like with my video camera and everything, bro. I was like, yo, but bro, little did I know it turned into a worse addiction. Anyways, bro, so I went into school. I was drunk at the time, bro. So I went into school, right? Anyways, I went into school, right? And I was, before I went into school, I was actually at the gates. I didn't even go to school because we wasn't allowed into school because I think the school realized that I was drunk because I was outside the gates and I was telling them, let me into school, man. Let me into school. I was drunk. I was like dozing, probably like, let me into school, man. Let me into school. And I was just dozing. And I think the teachers, they knew that I was drunk or something was up. So they was just like, you ain't coming into school. You gotta make a turn back. So I was annoyed because I think obviously I didn't want my mom to find out that I was drunk. And I think they said to go call my mom or something. But basically, we was on our way to home now. Me and my friend, because he didn't get loud in too. I think it was because of me. But listen, we was on our way home now. We was on a bus and I could not walk, bro. I could not walk on the bus. The bus was moving, and because I was drunk and everything was spinning, I think I was just dropping on the floor, like moving crazy. Like I was actually moving crazy, bro. I was actually moving crazy. So basically, bro. But on the way home, my sister caught us. My sister caught us, bro. So she was just like, I think she was asking me questions and stuff, and she figured out I was like drunk. So she went and told my mom, I think, and my mom found out. And yeah, it was just wild from there, bro. So that's when obviously I started to just be rebellion, bro. Just started smoking now. But I wasn't drinking, even throughout my whole addiction. I wasn't really a type of drinker, like I would drink and that was my main drug of choice. It really wasn't. We're gonna get to my main drug of choice. So basically from then on, like I was saying, it was just cigarettes. And I remember I smoked weed as well. Like it was in obviously the same type of schools. I smoked weed as well and I was high. And yeah, I fell in love with the weed, even though my first experience was kind of a bummer. Which, don't smoke or do anything from this video. I just want to make a disclaimer. Don't smoke or do anything from this video. Only breathe the breath of God. Okay, this is just my testimony. But listen, like I said, I smoked this for the first time. I was gone, but I fell in love with it and I wanted to smoke more. So yeah, it was just from, vaping to drinking to smoking, and it just gradually built up. I was going back and forth, smoking, drinking, and stuff like that. And I remember, man, like in school, I was wild with it too. I used to steal vapes. Me and some dudes, we used to just steal vapes. For real, bro. Like you see the people, they'll be, oh, I'm a dealer, bro. I'm a dealer. I got all these drugs. But I used to think I was dealing vapes, I think. At one point, I think I sold one vape or something. Like bro, I was packing up these vapes, bro. If I ran out of vape, I would go to the store and steal another one. Because in these stores at the time, I don't think they do it. But the vapes you could actually steal was in the pack. It wasn't like you had to go to the counter and then they'll put it in a pack. No, it was actually in a pack and you could just take it and duck. You could just take that, put it in your pocket and just run or something like that. So I used to do that sometimes. Sometimes I used to be sneaky with it. Or sometimes I had like these big vapes that I would go to the store, bro. Me and some dudes will run in, grab them and duck. And it'd be like that sometimes. So obviously, like I said, I don't recommend anyone doing that. But I used to just do that, bro. It was just like I was hanging around with bad kids. I was becoming bad myself. It was just horrible. So obviously, fast forward a little bit, I was just smoking weed. This is like when I was 16, going up to 17 and stuff like that. I was just smoking weed. Like I think before that as well, like 15, I was smoking weed a lot as well. But like when I was 16, I was smoking it pretty much a lot. Like I don't know if it was exactly every day. I don't think so, but it was just quite a few. I was smoking it often, bro. Like, you know what I mean? So I was getting high regularly. It was a regular thing for me to do to get high. And I was going through anxiety. You see, I had anxiety as well before, but I just didn't say it was anxiety. I just didn't, you know, right. I just didn't know it was anxiety, or at least say it was anxiety until like 16. So I knew that I was going through some type of problem, I think, at 16 or 17. So bear in mind, like I said, I'm going through anxiety, depression, and I'm smoking weed, which doesn't make it better. It makes it worse. It actually it pretty much causes that sometimes, bro. So obviously now, when I'm 17 and I reach 17, and I'm listening to all these rappers. I'm smoking to get a high. I'm listening to all these rappers. What is it? I'm listening to Juice WRLD, I think, at one point. Yeah, I was listening to Juice WRLD because Juice WRLD was one of my favorite rappers. Not anymore, but he was literally my favorite rapper. And I was listening to X a bit, I think, sometimes a little bit. I think it was later on or something. But I was just listening to these emo rappers like Lil Xan, Lil Pump, and maybe Lil Peep along the lines, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Just these emo type rappers. And I was listening to other rappers too, like NBA, Lil Durk, Polo G, all these types, Anthony Chopper, bro. I was listening to all these types, bro. And I'm gathering, bro, these stuff that they saying. Now they keep repeating in their music. Maybe not all of them, but they keep repeating in their music that this boy's off a pill, or this dude's off a pill, or they off a pill, and they feeling good. So I'm thinking, I'm there smoking weed, right? Where we from, bear in mind, where I'm from, but if you smoke anything like H, I don't want to say the word, but I'm probably gonna have to say the word. If you smoke like heroin or take heroin, inject it IV, however you take it, store it. If you do any type of that, bro, it's just wild. It's just wild. You go get looked down at. People gonna think you were just like, you a crackhead. This goes throughout. It's just everywhere. It's not even just where I'm from. It's everywhere. If you smoke crack or do anything like pill pop, bro, it was just like, you a crackhead. You a crackhead. So bear in mind, I didn't, you know what I mean? Okay. So when I started to listen to these rappers, right, I started to just get influenced, right, by the pill lyrics that they're saying. So I'm just like, bro, I wanna figure out what they're talking about, this pill pop. Cause they say they popping Molly, they feeling good. Oxy, they feeling good. Codeine, they feeling good. Xans, they feeling good. So I'm gonna have to try this out. So the first pill I went and bought for myself and actually tried out to get high from was Molly. This is when I was 17 years old, and I was actually I don't think I started to get like my old type of benefit money until I was like 17 or something like that. Or I don't even know if it was 17 or something around there. It was 17 or 18 or something like that. So one of the two, I was just getting my old buddy. So obviously I was getting my old buddy for the first time and stuff like that. And I was just like, let me cop a Molly pill. And I don't know if I asked my mom. I don't know if it was during actually the payment that I got that I was doing it with. But somehow I ended up getting money to buy the pills. Okay, I ended up getting money to buy pills. So when I got my hands on some pills, bro, some dude I knew down the streets, I'm not gonna say his name, but I hope God finds, you know what I mean, lives in you, bro, and brings you to Christ Jesus, bro, because I don't know what he doing now. But listen, so dude good for the street, bro, he gave me this pill, and I was just like, bro, I think I remember the first time I told him, right, I think I was like, bro, something happens to me, beat the dude up that gave me this pill, and he was just like, oh, I'm finna do that, bet. So I was just like, all right. So I went and took the pill home. I didn't take a full pill for my first time. I started cutting it up and or breaking it up or something like that. And I took a piece of it. I took a piece of Molly, and yeah, that was kind of it, bro. When I took the first piece, bro, that was kind of it. Like, I was addicted to the world of drugs. I don't think a specific type of drug of choice then. I think Molly was a bit, obviously it was my first time, so, but I'm just saying, I was addicted to drugs, the world of it. Once I took that first pill, that first bit of it, that was it. I was just like, bruh, oh wow, I'm smoking weed, I'm getting high, but the high is not even as good as this high. So, even though it's not, don't take my word for it, don't go ahead and take, because I'm telling you, bruh, Jesus feeling Jesus is way better than all of this. I've just explained what I went through of what was going on through my mind. So bear in mind. But listen, as I'm saying, like as I was saying, like, bro, took the pill, and that was kind of it. So I went and took more pills of it. I was taking more bits of it, and my eyes was kind of rolling back in my head. I was playing Juice WRLD or something, and I was just like rapping and going crazy, all this types of stuff. And my mom ended up finding out that I was taking the pills, and then she was telling me, obviously, stop these pills, stop taking them because they're not good for you. They can ruin your brain and all types of stuff. So I didn't end up listening the first time. I definitely did not listen the first time. I went and took it again. But I think like afterwards I ended up listening. But I didn't listen the first time. I just went and took it again because I was like, this feels to me in my head good. So yeah, like it was just like that. So I ended up, like I said, throwing away the pills, I think, or running out of them. And over time, I think my anxiety started to get worse. Or just over time, I just go through anxiety and stuff like that, and depression, I think. So I was just like, bruh, I can't even talk. Yeah, I was just like, basically, I'm just go get some LSD because I was actually researching on LSD before I even went and took it. I was researching like about 2 or 3 months on that. I was going ham on the research. I was just like, 'cause I know this drug is very strong. I gotta see what this is about. I was using it for my anxiety, but it was anxiety, but you know what I mean? Like I was for excuses and stuff. I was using it for my anxiety and depression and stuff like that. But really as well, I just really wanted an excuse to use drugs. And because at the time I was looking at it, like it said the LSD was safe and stuff like that compared to other drugs, I was just looking for the excuse to just get high. So without the weed, like just more than weed. So I was just began taking LSD, and I began taking LSD. Still listening to the music I'm listening, getting more influenced, and it just came to the point where I was taking LSD, right? Because you're not really supposed to take LSD at all, because you're supposed to just take in the word of Jesus. But in the world sense, in a worldly sense, you're not actually supposed to take LSD every day anyways, because of the tolerance that if you take it every day, you're not really gonna feel the high because the tolerance, you gain tolerance very quick. So obviously you have to take it and wait a couple days for you to take it again and get high, or at least reach the high that you want. But I was just taking it a lot. I was taking it, but then the waiting kind of got broken down. I kind of just wanted to take it. I don't think every day, but I was taking it more than what you're supposed to. So I was just taking it like that, and it got to the point where I got into 2CB. This is another psychedelic, okay? LSD is a psychedelic, 2CB is a psychedelic. So I was getting into 2CB. Now, when I got into 2CB, it was kind of a wrap. Because I started beginning to take it, and I actually liked it and enjoyed it more than LSD, because to me it felt more euphoric. So I was addicted to that. If I didn't have 2CB, I remember at one point I was just like, what was that? I was just like, crave for it and have like withdrawals. You're not even supposed to have withdrawals off of this thing. But I was just generally an addict. I was just getting withdrawals off 2CB. So if I wasn't on it, my body would shake. Or I would just start to panic, start to have all these things go through my head. I was just like, wow, what's going on? And stuff like that. So my body was not comfortable without the drugs. But even when I was on the drugs, my body wasn't even fully comfortable, because you were tripping and you're kind of freaking out sometimes. But anyways, it was kind of confusing for me. I didn't know what I was doing. So I was just like, I need this drug, which I didn't. So I was storing the pills. I was popping the pills. I was smoking the pills. I just went boofing the pills. Boofing means something that I don't want to explain, so don't look that up. But anyways, I was just doing all those types of stuff. And I remember I got into rehab. To tell them that, listen, I need help. I'm addicted to 2CB. And the girl was looking at me thinking, what's 2CB? My key worker was like, what's 2CB? And I'm just explaining to her, like, it's a psychedelic, it's a pill. I'm addicted to it. I need help. And because at the time, the rehab that I was going to, right, they only helped people that was dealing with like opiates They only helped people that was dealing with opiates and like benzo withdrawals, benzo addiction, and stuff like that. So they weren't really odd stuff. They didn't even realize what 2CB really was. So I had to explain it to them. But anyways, yeah, they just didn't help. They didn't help. They ended up prescribing me Seroquel, which was later down the lines. But anyways, listen, they didn't help. So I was still on these pills. I was still taking these pills. And right around the time, I also smoked heroin for the first time. And I also took Xanax and Valium. And I was just mixing pills. I remember the first time I took those, right? The first time I took those was a blackout. It was a blackout, and I ended up doing some terrible things. I ended up like falling all over the floor, waking up every 5 seconds, saying I needed Xanax, popping it, and forgetting that I popped it, knocking out, waking back up, saying I needed Xanax, popping it. And I think my family said as well, I was storing it. And one person said that I was outside, right? I was dancing all over the bed. I was just like dancing all over the bed or something, trying to walk over the bed, like walk around the bed or something. So I was just dozing. I was out of it. And I remember one time as well, it was like a blackout. I can remember like bits and pieces. That I fell back, right? When I was off the drugs, I fell back and I landed on my back, like also, I don't even know where I landed on, but it hurt where I landed on, but I landed on the full side. And listen, I was just like, I think I started to laugh. I think I started to laugh, bro. But I didn't remember the full effects of the benzos. That's what they are. Valium, Xanax, they're benzos, the anti-anxiety pills. But I didn't remember the full effects. So when that happened, I kind of dropped the benzos off for a second, and I just began to keep taking the 2CB, the heroin. I ended up throwing it away because I smoked it for the first time. I liked it, I enjoyed it, and I threw it away in the bin. And I ended up going back in the bin and take it back out and smoking it again, but then throw it away in the bin because I didn't want to do it no more. Because I was like, this is heroin. I don't, you know what I mean? I'm doing it, but yeah, just. Anyways, like, anyway, so from 2CB, I began to actually go back onto benzos because I started to find out that with benzos, you could kill your trips. Now, when you trip, right, you go through this whole process of tripping, you start seeing patterns. Things are just really intense in a trip, and it feels like your body just drained out after a trip on LSD or 2CB. So, what benzos is like it kills your trip. So if you go through a bad trip, you would kill your trip with a benzo. Obviously, I'm not saying do this. I'm just explaining, you know what I mean. But Jesus kills all your trips, like that's bad, except Jesus Christ. But just bear with me, okay? Don't listen to what I'm. Go ahead and do what I'm saying. But it will be used to kill your trips, and yeah, I would take it because I would have all this time, this long period where my body's drained out, and I just want to go sleep properly. And sometimes it's just like, bro, obviously I can't even go sleep. So I would use benzos, you know, Valium. That was my first benzo I took. Well, I don't think it was my first, but it was the one I started to begin with again, to take and to kill my trips after I have a long day. So it started to feel good. When I felt that first benzo really and remember the actual effects sometimes of it, it was just like sometimes of it. But remember the effects more times than I remember the first time I had a blackout. I was just like, bruh, this feels wow. So I began to take like I was killing it with a 2CB, but it came to the point where I dropped off 2CB completely for the benzos. Now, once I took benzos, it was a wrap. It was a wrap, bruh. Benzos are were my drug of choice throughout all of my addiction. And I'm gonna explain more what I did. And that's something to say. It was my main drug of choice, especially Xanax. Value, K-Pins, they all were good. I took K-Pins one time, I actually buying it, but like Xanax, dude, whoa, we're gonna get to it. But listen, after I started to get into value, right, I was just why is the door making that sound? Anyways, I started to get into value, but I started to just pop that a lot, taking like 2-3 pills, 10 milligrams pills, and that's kind of a few. That's actually a lot. Sometimes 3 pills of those, like 30 milligrams. Sometimes I think even going up to 40. I can't remember, but I took a lot of those At the start, when I started to take it, and I was addicted. I was addicted. This was my drug of choice. Even throughout all of my addiction, benzos, that was it. That was it. I couldn't get off the benzo. It was terrible. God had to deliver me from it, dude. It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible because my cravings that I have on benzos was terrible. I couldn't get my head off of it. It was just horrible. It was just terrible. I would get into the cravings. It was just horrible. But listen, when I obviously got into the Valium, I remember one day I ran out of Valium. And when I ran out of Valium, I was at a chicken shop, and I would say to myself, bruh, I'm trying to get some Valium. I couldn't get my hands on Valium because at the day it didn't come. You know, I was supposed to get the Valium, and I couldn't get my hands on that right now. So I was just like, bro, what am I gonna use? I was standing at the chicken shop. I was just like, what am I gonna use instead of just Valium? Because I'm not going back home or just ending off my day without getting high or something. And I'm not talking about weed. I'm talking about something. So I went and I just went and got cocaine, bro. I went and got cocaine. And I remember I took it back home. I snorted it for the first time. And I was just like, bro, I loved it. I loved the cocaine. I loved it. And I was just like, snorted more. I snorted more. And I remember I threw it away in a bin. This is like a similar thing that happened with the heroin. I threw it away in a bin, right? And I took it back out. And I think I began to snort more. And my nose was stuffed, but I was just forcing it in with a straw. I was like, it sounded like, because I was forcing that, bro. It was horrible that day. Bro, that day was just, wow, bro. Thank you, God, for delivering me. But that day was just wild. I was forcing that in my nose, bro. I don't even know if I was even getting it. I was just gone. I was high. I was forcing that in my nose. And it was just not looking pretty. But I think I ended up throwing it away. Not for good, but at that minute. But I was throwing it away, and I just began to just like go with my regular addiction with the Valium, and I think just smoking, you know, just in my regular addiction with the stuff I was doing. So I remember one time as well, I got back into heroin, and this was snorting it now. I was transitioning from smoking it. I still kind of smoked it when I was doing it, even while I was snorting, but I just got into heroin again. And I remember this happened, what was it? This happened because like I think I was running out of value similar to the cocaine, and I wanted something that was not going to cost more like cocaine all the time, because obviously cocaine costs like, it's a lot to get cocaine, like even just to get like, is it what 0. How many grams, how many milligrams, I don't even remember. I think it's 1 gram to get, that's like $40 for 1 gram. But anyways, if I have not misunderstood this, because I don't know it anymore, and it's good thing I don't do it no more. But yeah, I just got into heroin because I was running out of value. I wanted something that was easier to access, but I didn't have value, which I could just piggyback off heroin. It cost $10, and at the time it obviously lasts longer than value, in a sense. If you were to have 10 pills of value or 20 pills or something like that, you could probably done that off real quick. But heroin, you can actually kind of let that stretch. So obviously, yeah, I got my hands off heroin, and I started to do it. I started to do heroin, and I did it so much that I ended up having like 2 overdoses. The third one I think was later on in my addiction, but I had 3 overdoses on heroin total, and I think it was mixed sometimes with other drugs, but it was just horrible. I had overdose on heroin. I was nodding out because that's what opiates do. They nod you out. Xanax does it as well, but the opiate nod is kind of more intense than the Xanax. But Xanax, it's kind of back and forth with the Xanax and the opiates, because Xanax knocks you out. Something it really does knock you out, but opiates also can knock you out. So it's a different type of knockout. But the opiate knockout is like it's similar to Xanax. It's just like if you snorted heroin, did a pill of oxys, codeine, any type of pill that's an opiate that makes you nod, you would take it, and then you would just like, that's what I used to do. And it came to the point where my mom used to wake me up. Like my friend at the time used to wake me up and be like, bro, your mom's talking to you. And I was dozing. My mom was talking to me. I was outside, and then I was like dozing on the bench. I was just like dozing on the chair. So I was just like, whoa. And when you're in that type of mode, it's not like you're trying to actually force that mode. It just comes upon you. It's just like a feeling when you feel like you want to close your eyes, or sometimes it does kind of come upon you. Sometimes you do actually close your eyes, you don't even know. But it's like that. It's like a feeling like you close your eyes, you think you're in peace, but you're not in peace. You're actually in the opposite of peace, on your verge to death. So that's what happens, bro. That's what happens. And I remember it transitioned from that to some later down the lines. I transitioned from Valium to Xanax, and I was still taking Valium here and there, but just for Xanax was my actually main drug of choice, bro. That was terrible, terrible. And yeah, like it was just like that. I was taking a lot of Xanax. I remember I had like I was actually prescribed it when I was going to rehab, right? I was prescribed Seroquel because they gave me that because I was just telling them I want something like a benzo, but they didn't want to prescribe me a benzo because of my addiction. So they were just like, here's something else. Here's an antipsychotic. Take it instead. It makes you feel better, or whatever they were saying. But, bro, why would you give an addict at the time pills like that to get? Bro, I was taking the pills out of prescription. I wasn't really taking the pills really following the prescription. I don't think so. I was kind of, I wasn't really. I was taking like 3 pills or like 4 pills maybe. Dude, I was mixing that with Xanax. I was actually mixing the antipsychotic with Xanax. I was going to have. I ended up doing so much that when I was going to college one time, I took like the last pill of Seroquel, and then just in the break time of college, right, I had a seizure. I had an actual seizure that God saved me from, and yeah, it was horrible. I had this seizure, and yeah, in front of my class, in front of my college people, they're college mates, man. They're gonna be just like, man, what's wrong with this dude? And my bro was there too, and I just started spazzing out like we were smoking a cigarette. And yeah, it was just horrible, bro. And the ambulance got called and everything, and it was just terrible. Ended up going into Seroquel withdrawal, which was horrible the next day. Horrible, horrible, horrible. But listen, it was just like that. It was just using all these types of drugs. Like I said, Xanax was the main drug of choice. I had like one seizure on Xanax. Xanax is horrible. The Xanax withdrawals is horrible. It makes you actually lose your mind because you're hearing things. The demons actually talk to you when you're in withdrawals of Xanax. Demons, you hear them audibly. You hear them audibly. You believe things that's not real, and you sometimes see things that's not real too. Like it's just you feel things too. It's just horrible. It's horrible. So I've experienced a lot of things in my life during these times. I experienced a person that died and was brought back to life. You know, God actually brought this person back to life that I gave pills to. We were partying, having a good time on oxys, and that he ended up laying down, and that I had to pray for him, and me and my mom had to pray for this dude, and God brought back life into him because his heart actually stopped, and then God had his heart beating again. He was actually in an overdose, which was like called like a respiratory depression on opiates, so it was like a KO for him, but God saved him. So that was good. Yeah, some other dude. Don't. I'm doing a video. Don't open the door. But yeah, it's just like, it's just wild. It's just wild. Like, it's just wild. It's just a wild thing that I've been through. I remember having like, yeah, obviously people that took pills with me as well. They actually, sometimes I think the other person went off because I think one time I gave one pill to the other person, right? Some dude I knew, the same dude like sold me the Molly in the first place. And I remember we ended up getting into an argument because he ended up taking my Xanax and he said that he was gonna give me in return Molly. Bro, he didn't give me no Molly. He didn't give me no money. I was messaging him, and then he was actually calling me a crackhead. Stop messaging my phone. Because you're not getting this, you're not getting that. I'm just like, man, you took my stuff. You're like, where's my stuff? But I don't care that because obviously God delivered me. But that's what the devil would use drugs to do, divide people. And yeah, like that's what I did, man. I did many drugs in my life. Dude. It was just tore me. It was just tearing me apart because I was in anxiety, depression. I was an addict. Like if I didn't have drugs, if I didn't have Xanax, I was so addicted that my cravings was horrible. Like I would just hear Xanax in my head, loud as well sometimes, like really loud sometimes, like Xanax. It doesn't matter if I think about something else, it will come back Xanax in my head. It wouldn't even say to us of the other pills, just Xanax. And as I'm feeling it at the time, I'm feeling this uncomfortable feeling that comes over my body. This is the cravings. For the stay with my Xanax, and the cravings will come over my body, this feeling, and it will feel like it will feel like my whole body. Obviously, it's a lie, but it will feel like my whole body, my whole cells, are telling me to get this drug or to get something that would substitute this drug, which could be another benzo, an opiate, or even cocaine, or anything of the sort that would get me high to take away the feeling. So yeah, it was just horrible. It was just horrible, man. I remember times where, like I said, I'm taking drugs and I'm just absolutely out of it. Absolutely out of it, just dozing, just complete dozing where people are talking to me, can't even respond properly because I'm just like, yo, yeah, I'm just doing that. I'm just dozing. I'm just wake up, doze. And even I would just be sleeping a lot too as well, because I'll be taking pills and I just feel like I want to go to sleep because Xanax makes you want to sleep. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it's just wild. Even in college, I was taking drugs in college. I was showing my Xanax to the other kids, to other people there. I was just like, yo, I got the Xanax. I think I said I was about to pop one too. And I went and didn't pop one. Like, it was just wild, bro. Wild, bro. I went, I just put myself through so many troubles. I went and had, because of the drugs, I put myself in debt. Till this day, I actually still have to pay off the debt. It's just I dropped out of college because of my drug addiction, which I'm not too keen on. You know, I'm sad because of college, because God had better plans for me to spread the word. And if I was to go to college and actually come out successful and do what, you know, the music, because it was a music college, I would be out there rapping about drugs, probably hanging out with people that do drugs, and just be dead, gone, long time out of it. And yeah. It was just like that, man. It was just like that. And I remember, like, I as well, like, I think it was like around 17 that I started to, or 16 or 17 or something like that, that I started to like dress like a goth. And I was just in love with the black or just dark stuff. I don't love it now, but obviously I was just in love with the black and the dark stuff. So it was kind of just wild. Plus I was listening to emo rappers. I was getting influenced by them to dress like this. And it was just a wild type stuff, bro. It was just wild. It was just wild, a dark time of my life. Wild stuff, man. Wild stuff. But yeah, I would see if I covered up everything. But yeah, I just couldn't get off the drugs because I was so addicted to it. Like, I was just, like I said, like, Xanax in my head, feeling all over my body, telling me to get the drug I do. It feels better because it's what the demons wanted me to think, that that's the only thing that can help me, but it was killing me. And it was just like, you know what I mean? If I didn't have that, it was just horrible. Like, there would be times even when I don't even have as much money. I don't even have money at all. And I'm forced to go through detox for like 1 or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, or maybe 4, just to wait for me to pack up. Just to wait for me to get money and for me to buy more drugs. So it was just wild. I was buying a lot of drugs, sometimes 50 Xanax, 100 Xanax. It obviously built up my addiction. So I was getting like from probably 20 Xanax at the start or something, I don't know. 50, 100, 200 pills just to last me a month. And I don't think they went over 2 months. I'm just saying, I don't think they've ever went over 2 months. I think it was just a month and probably a week or so, and something like that. I'll order 200 pills of other things as well, like Soma, Carisoprodol, something like that. That's also relaxant, and I used to order a lot of those too as well. Maybe not as much as Xanax, but Xanax was the main drug of choice. It was the most one that caused corruption in my life because I couldn't get off this pill. Even with the heroin, I stopped the heroin before. God helped me stop the heroin before the Xanax. The cocaine, that Drew Alive with the Xanax. That was like combination. That was actually my best combo at the time in my head. Like I would just do Xanax and cocaine, which isn't a good combo at all. But I'm just saying that was my preferred combo out of all the drug combos because I used to do a lot. I used to do sometimes like Xanax, alcohol, lean, and probably heroin. Maybe in the same, but maybe in another day like heroin, cocaine. I remember when I did one time like heroin and cocaine in the same line. Like I had like heroin, like because I used to do the light brown. I never did black tar or like Chino Bite or like I think it's 3 or 4. I think it's heroin 2, heroin number 2. I don't know if it's heroin number 3, heroin number 2. I think it's heroin number 3. But I used to do the light brown and mix that up with the coke, and I used to just do it in line right and just like snort that and be like, well, God, top it off with Xanax too. I was God, and y'all probably thinking, bro, how is you still alive? You just did both of them in the same line, probably off other drugs, and you talk about Xanax. God, bro. God, bro. God, that's why I'm here today, still spreading the word. But spreading the word and telling people that God delivered me, He can deliver y'all. But yeah, that's what it used to be a lot of stuff that I used to do. A lot of drugs, bro. And it's just like I used to rap too, which to make it better because I used to rap. I still rap a little bit, but Christian rap. But I used to rap emo wild, but I used to rap stuff. I used to chat rap rubbish in my rap too. I used to say I'm doing this, I'm popping it, I'm shooting people. I ain't shooting nobody. I ain't shooting nobody, but I never shot nobody in my life. Never did that. So I was just chatting rubbish about my lyrics, but sometimes things happen to me, or sometimes like it didn't happen. I'm talking about it happened to me. I was chatting rubbish, bro. But I was actually like over time, like I was saying, going through anxiety and depression and actual drug addiction. So when I used to talk rubbish, saying I'm popping this pill and I ain't even popping this pill, it became real. I then started really popping that pill. Like I really started an addiction. I really had an addiction. So it's just like that. So yeah, so I remember Jesus Christ saving me, bro. Jesus Christ saved me from 5 overdoses on drugs. I remember just before I just got saved, bro, just that day, I had that circle and I was about to pop that last pill. I was thinking to myself, at least, I should pop this pill. And just before that, God was letting me know that it's my heart that needs to change. My heart's desires. Yes, I'm going through all these cravings, but those aren't the core of your problems. It's your heart. Because you're in love with the drug, your heart's desires need to change. So I started to pray for my heart's desires. And I remember the day that I got delivered, right? And I was saying to myself, listen, God, you ain't giving Paul B. You ain't give up Paul B because you been delivering me from all of this stuff, but from all of my seizures, my 5 overdoses, all of that up until today, all of the stuff that I went through. So why should I give up on you? So I went straight and put down a pill. Cravings never came back, bro. I had like 5 overdoses on drugs. No doctor saved me, res me back up, gave me injection, Narcan, whatever to save me. It was straight prayers. 5 overdoses. All of them has been prayers that kept me here today. So yeah, I gotta give thanks to the Most High, bro. Yeah, man, it's People X. If you did enjoy the video, leave a like and subscribe, and I'll be back with more videos. Peace.